Welcome, everybody. You're in here with the NextManUp Sportscast crew. Mandy, got a new mic today. Why don't you say hello to the people, Mandy?
Hey, what's going on, my fans out there? Do I sound a lot better now? I sure hope so.
He definitely hopes so, and he definitely gets a lot of criticism on Mandy uses, toy mics and talks very far away. I heard somebody say that he's recording on a Nokia phone one time. That's just what I heard from the fans. So it's definitely an improvement today. We're hoping that you can hear the bass in Mandy's voice all throughout the show, because we definitely have a jam-packed show, starting with, of course, what month are we in, Mandy?
We're still in March, so
Right, 31st of March, the end of March, and it has definitely been nothing but madness. Especially since the last time we talked to you from last week. A lot has happened. We got Final Four teams here. We got you.
see.
Look, the Bruins are still dancing. I mean, I'm not gonna say I don't believe it. I'm not gonna say I didn't. I'm not gonna say I expected it. But if you watch the way the Bruins have been playing all through the tournament, they look like a damn good team.
Let me just say this though, for my fans out there, I did a March Madness poll, and of the I think like 30 people that did the poll, how many chose UCLA to go to the Final Four?
Did any?
One.
Who was that? Wow.
I
Impressive.
did, baby. I did.
I'm assuming you got Gonzaga there too?
I got Gonzaga, UCLA, Houston. No. I had Illinois and Baylor.
Oh, that's pretty good. I'm going to guess you don't have UCLA to beat Gonzaga, though.
I sure do not.
So the Zags have been awesome, and that's my first topic here, Mandy. We got the Final Four teams. We got UCLA, we got Houston, we got the Zags, we got Baylor, and yes, we said it all throughout the show. We said it last week. Everybody's been saying it. March has been crazy. It's been madness. But if you think about it, out of the four teams, you got two number 1 seeds, a number 2 seed, and then you got UCLA, the play-in number 11 seed. Well, they're really the outlier there. So I think a lot of people expected.
You can't even say they're an outlier because for the whole season they were in first place in the Pac-12.
It's true.
Yes, they stumbled. They lost their 3 games in a row, but the 3 games they lost in a row were to all teams that made it to the Elite Eight.
Yeah. No, that's a good point. But early along, nobody knew that, Oregon was going to be good. Oregon State was going to be good in the tournament. Nobody knew that USC was going to be as good as they were. So at the time, that's why people criticized the Pac-12 so much. It's like, oh, they're losing to these teams. And now that loss, to Oregon State in the Pac-12 tournament doesn't look as bad at all. Like, not at all. It looks like a good loss. And then, they've gotten they got a little bit of help along the way, not having to play Texas, getting to play Abilene Christian and all those things. But really, they've won almost every game convincingly. They've won almost every game, playing their style. And that's my next point here, Mandy. I wanted to ask you, so what does every team need to do to win their matchup here in the Final Four? So for UCLA, I'll let you take UCLA. Go ahead and tell me what UCLA needs to do, because you told me what they needed to do to beat Michigan. You texted me and said, keep them out of the paint. And that's what happened. They did.
Jaime Jaquez, 6'8", he guarded that 7'1" guy, Dickinson from Michigan. Yep. Overmatched, undersized, but guess what? He played defense with his head. Took away his left shoulder, took away his left, forced him to go right. He wouldn't do it. Played awesome. Now, what does UCLA got to do to go ahead and beat Gonzaga? Well, kind of the same thing. Gonzaga's big down low.
Yeah.
Gonzaga's big down low. But that freshman they have at Gonzaga, man, Suggs, he's a real deal. They play fast. They shoot very well. They score a lot of points out there in Gonzaga. So what does UCLA need to do? They have to dictate tempo. UCLA needs to dictate tempo, slow the game down, control their bigs. Kind of the same thing they did against Michigan in a sense. UCLA dictated tempo the entire time. And that's
it's just that I think the biggest difference here is that if they do that and they can be successful doing that, Gonzaga's so multifaceted. They can beat them from outside. They got they got a lot of good guards on the outside that can still shoot the ball if they try to double on the inside to kick out. Gonzaga can beat you in a lot of different ways, and that's my next point here: is what does Gonzaga need to do to keep on dancing? Gonzaga just needs to do what they've been doing. They're what 30-0, and they've won 29 games by double digits. Okay, and a lot of those games haven't been close. I mean, obviously double digit wins, but like you look at the game that I thought that they were in the most trouble with. Okay, you look at BYU when they played BYU in the conference finals. I thought they were in trouble for a little while. And why were they in trouble for a little bit? Is because, like what Mandy said, BYU was aggressive and took away a lot of the bigs. They took away like Timmy and a lot of those other guys down low, and they forced them to beat them from the outside. That's what they ended up doing.
Well, it also helped that BYU were taking like 40 feet 3-point shots and sinking them.
Exactly, but you know what? That's what you need to do when you're playing a team like that. You have to do something different, and I think for UCLA, same thing. Like Mandy said, they got to control the tempo, but they've been doing that the whole tournament, and everyone's seeing that now. So I don't know if they maybe try to get out and run a little bit to early on to try to get Gonzaga off base and kind of hit them with the side shot. But I think as far as Gonzaga, they need to, like Mandy said, do the opposite of what UCLA needs to do: dictate the pace, run up and down the court, shoot the ball from the outside when they're open, and make their shots like they usually do.
Gonzaga needs to play like you said, just an average game or normal
Gonzaga game. Yep.
If they play an average game, they win. UCLA, on the other hand, they need to play a flawless game.
They need to be perfect.
And hope that Gonzaga kind of, stumbles a little bit. I'm just keeping it real.
The good thing is, matchup wise, if you look at like Cody Riley against Timmy down low, it's not like it doesn't favor Riley, but at the same time he's so long and he's so big that it's gonna be it makes that matchup a little bit harder on Timmy than I think he's had.
In foul trouble. That's what scares me.
That exactly. Well, he's a young guy, so he's definitely got to be smarter about it. Absolutely.
Back, the last thing I want to say about UCLA is doing it mainly with players from Southern California.
That's awesome. That's the awesome part
about it. They have Singleton from Bishop Montgomery. They got Juzang from Harvard Westlake. They got Jaime Marquez from Camarillo. Cody Riley from Sierra Canyon. These are all pretty much LA boys, SoCal boys. It's pretty cool.
And that's what you got. I mean, and I think that UCLA, if they want to bring basketball back to that school, and be successful like they are now, it starts with recruiting in your state. And you see that with all these big programs. You recruit within your state, and then that's where that's a starting point. And then you get those transfers and guys like that to kind of bolster that roster. But they're doing it the right way over there at UCLA. And I think if COVID hadn't happened, I think they would have played a much tougher schedule and been ranked a little bit higher as well. So I think the ranking is a little deceiving for them. But we're moving on to the battle of the Texas teams here. We got the Baylor Bears out of Waco, Texas, and then of course Houston, the Cougars out of Houston. Mandy, I want to spend some time talking about Houston, okay? Because I didn't really like Houston, most of the year, and they didn't really convince me because, I think a lot had to do with the conference that they played in, obviously. But I had them losing to Rutgers, real early, and I thought Rutgers was the better team, and then they were for like most of the game when Houston made a good comeback to win by 3 points, I believe, against Rutgers in the tournament. But what Houston has to do to be successful, it's going to be tough because it's a tough matchup for them, but they just have to do what they're best at right now, which is rebounding. They're such a great rebounding basketball team, both defensively and offensively, but at the same time, Baylor is as well. So they're going to definitely have to win that battle, and what they're going to have to do is something that Houston isn't as comfortable doing, is hit threes. The guard play for Baylor though has been phenomenal, and that's where they've really hit their stride. And when I saw Houston lose this year, they had a bad loss against East Carolina, Mandy's Pirates. Mandy likes the East Carolina Pirates for football, especially. But East Carolina, what they did was they didn't allow second chance opportunities, and they hit a lot of threes. And that's what East Carolina did to win that game. They had amazing guard play. So I think Baylor has the recipe to beat them. The spread's, I think, 4.5 points. It's just I think it could get out of hand.
Yeah, Baylor has a recipe to beat a lot of teams in the NCAA tournament, all of NCAA. You saw at Baylor how they were down to Villanova in the first half by like 8. Right, they were down other games, but you know what Baylor has that no one else has in this tournament, man?
A kid with a mullet.
That kid's impressive off the bench. Wow,
he's really good. Yeah.
Wow, no, but Baylor has 3, 4, 5 guys who are probably the best perimeter defenders in the NCAA tournament. It's ridiculous how long, how athletic, and how much pride they have on the defensive side, and that's just the perimeter. These guys get after it. They get after the opposing guards, and that's why in the second half you always see Baylor, pulling away, is because a lot of these guards, like Villanova and who they played last round. Baylor played against I'm trying to blank.
Play Oregon State?
No, Baylor played against somebody else, but in the last round.
Oh, Arkansas.
Arkansas, right? Arkansas, and again, you see it again with Villanova. Yeah, the first half, they're able to keep it close, whatever, but the second half, Baylor just sends wave after wave after wave of defenders, and the poor guards and the other teams just get tired and they get worn down, and Baylor capitalizes on your mistakes. But again, saying all that, what Baylor does the best, shoot the three ball. Wow, yep. Baylor could shoot the three.
Amazing guard play.
Yes.
Amazing guard play from Baylor.
I see Baylor run away with it. I don't see it. Houston's a good team. And I'll be honest with you, people out there, because, I'm an honest guy. I haven't seen Houston play. I haven't seen Houston play for about 10 minutes. You tell me, Mandy, have you seen Houston play? I said, nope. I've scanned the channel and seen them play. I've not seen them play.
They're not a great team. They're a 2-seed. I didn't agree with them getting a 2-seed. I watched them play a couple of times this year, and I just never saw them play a great game. Like, they played good enough to win, like, every single time, and it seems like they rise to the occasion when they need to, but they've also had the benefit of not playing great teams in, most of the tournament. They played Rutgers, who was mid-tier in the Big Ten, and they're a good team. Like I said, I thought Rutgers would beat them, and they played a couple of the teams that they should have beat, and they did. That's what they've had. They haven't really, to me, they haven't been tested. They got tested by Rutgers, and then, like I said, Rutgers almost won. They beat them. They ended up winning by 3. They have some bad losses on that resume, but it's kind of a similar battle that we have going on here as we do with UCLA and Gonzaga. Is you're going to see Houston try to slow the pace down, work it to their bigs, kick out threes, stuff like that, offensive rebound, get a really dirty, grimy game, kind of like UCLA plays. And then you have Baylor kind of doing the opposite, playing great defense, opening up the floor, letting their guards do a lot of the work. So you're definitely going to see contrasting styles in both of these games. But it's kind of funny. I think both games can either be a really tight battle and come down to the last possession, or both games could really be really bad blowouts. I don't see it going really either way here. So we'll see what ends up happening here. I definitely like Baylor, and I like Gonzaga, but UCLA has got like a 14.5 point spread. I think they could cover that easily. So we'll see what ends up happening on that end there. Topic number 2, Mandy. Of course, today is Wednesday the 31st, which means tomorrow is the 1st. And it ain't no April Fool's joke, folks. Tomorrow we got opening day baseball. And opening day baseball, I have debated several times calling out of work, and I'm going to end up going in. But you know what? I'm going to be in my office. I'm going to be in my office at my desk, so should still be able to listen to a couple of games. On the couch.
On the couch, because it's my spring break, baby. Yeah. Let's go.
I got spring break last week for school, but yeah. That's awesome. That's awesome. That's what I would love to do. I watched so much baseball last year, and I can't wait to watch baseball again. But Mandy, of that topic of opening day coming up, I got 2 intriguing, my most intriguing matchups of the day. Let me see if you can guess what they would be.
I've been so focused on March Madness, I have no idea who's playing. So go ahead and hit me with them.
I'm going to give you this first matchup here that I think is the most intriguing to me. We got the Washington Nationals with Max Scherzer on the mound going against the New York Mets throwing Jacob deGrom.
Yeah, go with the Mets.
Right. Fact. Go with the Mets, but why? Okay, I don't see. I'm going to disagree.
Jacob deGrom is the top 3 best pitchers in the major leagues. Max Scherzer.
And Scherzer isn't?
He ain't no slouch, but no, Jacob deGrom trumps Max Scherzer. Jacob deGrom is an animal. And also the Mets,
New look Mets? Yeah, new look Mets.
New look Mets, baby. Got something to prove. I'm taking the Mets. Money line, -2, whatever it is. Take the Mets.
1.5 usually. But you know what? I like the
Nats. It's called being we call it exaggeration. What do you want to call it?
I would say I live and work in Colorado now, and I just keep telling everybody who likes sports betting, all my buddies and stuff, I'm like, you know what, if there's an alternate spread on the Dodgers to win like -4, I would take it. I just don't see that game being very close. But I like Max Scherzer and the Nats in this position. They're at home. It's opening day. Again, you got the hype train, the Mets. There's always one team that's like, oh, they're the hype train. Last year was probably the Padres. This year, I think it's going to be the Mets. Oh, they have pitching, they have this, they have that. They do, and it's all true. But I think the Nationals have a sneaky dark horse to win the MVP on their side. I think Juan Soto can win the MVP this year. I really do. I think if he puts together a full, healthy year, he becomes the catalyst for that team and gets them back in the playoffs.
Again, I'm a West Coast boy, obviously, out here in L.A., so I don't see too many national games because, last year, especially, the Dodgers didn't really play the Nationals. Well, they didn't play them at all.
Right.
I saw a special on Juan Soto, and I don't like the guy. He does. I guess it's called the Juan Soto Shuffle in the batter's box.
Yeah, I like that. I like that. I like it, especially when he did it. When he clutched up against the Dodgers. Maybe that's why you don't like him. When he clutched up against the Dodgers as a 20-year-old, couldn't even celebrate with the champagne in the room. That was pretty awesome. I think he's a sneaky dark horse candidate to win. I watched him play a lot last year, and he was hurt a majority of the early year. But when he played, kid's a tough out. He's a really tough out, and he plays baseball so well. So I'm a big Juan Soto guy, and I think he does really well this year. The second most intriguing matchup here, and there's a lot of intriguing matchups, I'll say that. It's going to be a fun day of baseball. It's a lot of division foes, a lot of division stuff. One game that's not a division foe is going to be the battle of two Florida teams, actually. And at first glance, you might not think, oh, this is an intriguing game. Oh, yeah. It is, okay? And I'll tell you why. I think it's one of the best pitching matchups of the day. Again, with Scherzer and DeGrom, that's for sure number one, right? But I think number two, a very close number two here, is you got Tyler Glasnow and the defending American League champion Rays.
Hey, who they lose to in the World Series?
Lost to the Dodgers.
Yeah.
We all know that by now. You know what I mean? And it's all good. I got the Dodgers for you coming up here in a second, in the next section. But they're going to be taking on Sandy Alcantara, and as our boy Dodger puts it along the spring training champion Marlins. So I like this matchup so much because it's going to be two guys who throw, upper 90s, close to 100, and then switch it up with a really big breaking ball and a good changeup. So I like both of these. I like this matchup a lot because you got two scrappy lineups with a really, with an ace out there on the mound. I think it's going to be one of those low-scoring games, but ends up being like one of the best games of opening day. What do you think about that one, Mandy?
I got the Marlins. They're going to take that momentum from last season, and they're going to carry it. The Rays rely on their metrics and all this stuff about pitching and pitching counts and only going through the lineup twice or once, whatever it is. They're going to probably pull him out too early, last one out too early, and that's going to leave room for the Marlins to go ahead and sneak in and take the 4-2 win. Ooh, 4-2 win.
4-2. I see. Yeah, I mean under 7 probably a good bet. I would agree. I like the Marlins here. I said that on the show last time. I think they're a good chance to upset here. Everyone's big on the Rays this year. I just really think that they're gonna underperform. I know they did really well last year, but last year's kind of an outlier. 2 years in a row they've done well. I just don't see it. They lost a lot of pieces there, and again, yeah, the Rays are good at finding pieces and all that good stuff. I just don't like their team this year. I'm just not a big fan of their team this year. And I was last year. I think they had a lot more pieces last year, but I'm not a fan of their team this year. Mandy, as you know, the next segment, after we just did some baseball. Baseball's great. I'm so excited for it to come back tomorrow. But the next segment, we do a little bit of betting, right? Let's talk about a little bit of betting. Some good picks out there for you. And with baseball starting up tomorrow, what I'd like to ask you here, I got over under win totals of some specific teams here.
All right, we got to go ahead and keep track of this for sure.
Tell me what you like here, okay?
Talk to me.
Number 1, the Los Angeles Dodgers. The line just
over
moved,
116 wins.
Wow, that's
JK.
That's interesting, but their over/under total is set at 103.5. So they would have to win 104 games to beat that prop bet. Do you like the over-win total here for the Dodgers, or should Dodger fans expect a little bit less this year than they did last year?
Man, you know what, dude? This team is so stacked. They have so much pitching. Usually teams struggle with pitching, injuries, and all that stuff. When you have David Price in your bullpen, right, and you got Gonsolin in your bullpen because you have Dustin May and Julio Urias and Buehler and Bauer and Kershaw and a stacked bullpen, dude. they're gonna go over. You gotta go over 103.5. I think.
Yeah,
over.
I like the over in this one too.
Yeah.
I would go under 116 wins, but I would definitely go over 102 and a half, especially since they get to play the Rockies and Diamondbacks quite a bit.
True.
I mean those are some easy wins there. Even the Giants, that's kind of a weaker division in baseball, so definitely you got to give it to them there. Another team in the same division. So here's where it gets a little dicey because if they're both in the same division, it's going to be kind of hard to have multiple big game winners here. The San Diego Padres are under 94.5 wins. Padres loaded up this offseason. They got quite a bit of pitching, starting pitching. Clevenger, Yu Darvish, Blake Snell, a lot of guys there who are going to make a difference for the Padres, or so they believe. But again, they have to play the Dodgers multiple times this year, and those are going to be battles.
Yeah, but like tough. You said, they get to play the Diamondbacks,
Rockies, Giants.
So as much as I don't want to say over, because I feel as though the Padres are on the, like you said, the hype train.
They are the hype train.
Man, that's be a tough one because I don't know, man. Their offense, they got Tatis, but maybe he's due for a sophomore, junior year slump. I never liked Machado. I don't know.
He's a beast though, but yeah.
I don't know. You know what? I'm gonna go under. There's always that one team that just doesn't, like you said, that doesn't
work out. I think it's the Mets this year, but I could see it being the Padres.
I'm gonna go under 94. Under 94.
Okay. Under 94.5. So the Padres, if they get 93 wins, Mandy hits that prop bet. I'm gonna go over. I think they're too talented to not win that many games. I think you might have 200 team winners in the NL West. We'll see. Just like the Yankees and Rays did not too long ago in the AL East. Next team here, Mandy. See, this is where it gets a little bit more fun for me, I think. I got the Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim. Los Angeles Angels over here, 83.5 wins.
Over.
Is there over? Okay. I see. I think you're buying into the hype with the Angels still. Their team isn't very different from last year. It just really isn't. It's not different enough for me to be convinced that they're going to win that many games. And they have a tougher division. Everybody in that division competes. They got the Athletics there are going to compete, and I think they're going to underperform this year, but I think they'll beat the Angels quite a bit. You got the Astros, who I think will overperform this year, and then you got the Seattle Mariners, who I think are a team to watch out for, getting younger, getting better, getting the Rangers, good.
They suck too.
And the Rangers do suck, but their bullpen is good. Yeah, so if they can get a lead on the Angels, and the Angels give up a lot of leads, they could lose games.
Yeah, the Angels this year, I think again Rendon to be here healthy. When I say here in Anaheim, is to be healthy.
Okay? Not a fan of him.
I'm not a fan of him either, but he's healthy, and he showed out last year. He did when he was not injured. Mike Trout's a freaking animal, a freak of nature, and I really think Ohtani is going to find his groove finally. I think Ohtani.
I think he's going to have a better year.
Yeah, and they got Haney as one of their pitchers, and Ohtani's going to pitch high 90s.
Dylan Bundy's pretty good.
Bundy's okay. Yeah, again, over 84.
I like that one. What is his name? Adele.
Yeah.
Joey Adele, I think his name is. Their youngster.
I think the Angels are going to go ahead and win over 8-3. And to be honest, I see them winning the AL West.
Oh, that is a stretch. Hey, that's what we call a stretch.
That's what we call a futures bet right there. Angels to win the AL West.
That's probably got great odds. And I'm going to go with the under on this Angel prop. And I think they're, Vegas is only putting 83.5 there for a reason. It's because the Angels are just, like I said, they're the same team as last year. And they finished third in that division, fourth in that division. Not great. They really didn't finish great. They didn't play great,
you're right. They didn't play great. But in last year's shortened season, I think they were one of the top teams in the last 20, 30 games of the season. They finished hot.
Actually, not true. So they did well before the All-Star break, and then they fell apart like the Angels typically do. Oh. I believe they finished behind the Mariners, if I'm not mistaken. They just didn't end up doing well last year. And it was, they played their division a lot, and they lost to their division a lot, and then they played the NL West a lot, which, they'll lose a lot to the NL West, like always. But, I think they swept the Dodgers last year, actually. But, it's not like it matters. But last one here for you, Mandy.
Last year?
Oh, yeah, that's what matters. That's what I'm saying. Come on, man. This guy breaking my balls over here. But we got St. Louis Cardinals, the new-look St. Louis Cardinals with a lot of new additions this year. and especially at third base. I mean, they got the corners locked down with Goldschmidt and Arenado. Definitely a team to really watch out for in the NL. They are in a tough division, but we got 86.5 is the over-under set here. Do you like the Cardinals to go over that number, under that number? What are you thinking here?
86. They have the Cubs. They have the Brewers. 86.5 Cardinals. You know what? I want to go over, man. I'm feeling the 4 teams. I'm going
Yachty came
over,
back.
1 under. I'm going to go over to the Cardinals. Best fans in the major leagues.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think, like I said, added a huge piece of Nolan Arenado. I think that alone helps. Added a couple other guys, but I'm saving that for rapid fire in a second here. But what I really like about them is just that, like Mandy said, they're a baseball town. They're bred and born to win in that city, and if you don't, those fans will let you know it. So 86.5, I'm going to take the over on that one. I'm also looking here, the Toronto Blue Jays are set at 86.5 as well. I think that's kind of crazy. I think that's a very high number to say that the Blue Jays could win the same amount of games as the Cardinals potentially. Like, that just kind of baffling to me. I know they're getting younger and better and all that good stuff, but they were in one of the toughest divisions in baseball. And I think it's going to be hard for the Blue Jays to win 86.5 wins. I would take the under on that one, over on the Cards. So that's where we're at with that's where we're at with the betting segment of the day. Always different, always bringing you a spice. Variety, of course, is the spice of life, and it is the spice of this show, absolutely.
The spice of the show was my boy Mo, but all right, we'll take it.
That is the...
that's the spice of my life.
That's the white rice of the show, the blandness of the show that keeps us together. Like the starch, the potato, the unsung hero of the dish that brings everything together. That is Mo, the potatoes of the show. Salt him a little bit, and I'm telling you, he's going to taste great. So shout out to Mo.
Done that.
Exactly. But Mandy, of course, the next segment after the betting segment, our fans know it. They love it. It is Rapid Fire. I like that movement you did on the mic. Sports trivia with Mandy and Chooch. So make sure we got rapid fire now. I got a baseball one for you here, Mandy.
Oh, me too.
Very good. So I'm doing this part because I noticed something with my fans, okay? And I communicate with my fans, talk to my fans, love my fans. We talk on Twitch, we talk on everything. IG, YouTube, Twitter, all that stuff. And what I notice is that people don't just watch this show because they like sports, okay? Or because they like sports betting, or because they like our segments. They watch the show to stay informed, okay? They watch the show because we cover the latest and greatest, and we're modern. And that's what it's all about, right? I'm not going to go back and watch SportsCenter from 10 years ago. Why the hell would I do that? Why would I want them to talk about stuff from then, right? So, Mandy, I got for you 5 players who this year switched teams in the offseason, baseball players. You're going to need to tell me what team did they switch to.
Oh, okay? Snaps. Let's do it.
And you might, and I might help you out with the team from previous, but otherwise you might have to give me that as well, okay?
All right.
So, like for example, if I said, Jock Peterson, you would say?
Dodgers to the Red Sox.
To the Cubs. So you would have got that one wrong. You're thinking Kike Hernandez or Alex Verdugo, possibly. Yes. Which I know Kike leaving LA broke a lot of you ladies' hearts.
Not my heart.
But
my wife's.
I'm in agreement. I thought he needed to go a little bit ago. Yeah. But first guy up is the World Series champion, Jackie Bradley Jr.
Oh, he was with the Red Sox, right?
Correct. Won the World Series with the Red Sox.
Oh, wow. That's a good one. He went to the Cardinals?
He went to the Brewers.
Oh.
He'd be playing with the Brewers. That's a good addition for the Brewers. A good outfielder for them, for sure. Okay. Another former World Series champion, Andrew Benintendi.
Wow.
It's a good one, I know.
I'll be honest. I've never even heard that guy before. I will say he's with the Chicago Cubs.
Second baseman for the Red Sox formerly, and now he plays for the Kansas City Royals.
Oh.
I think that's a great addition for them as well. This next one here, Chris Smash Davis and Elvis Andrews both signed with the same team in the offseason. Do you know what team that is?
I know Davis was with the A's, correct?
Correct.
And Andrews was with the Rangers?
Correct.
And they signed with the Cardinals.
They signed with the Rangers. So kept it with the Rangers. Chris Davis interesting. I mean, I know he'd stay in the American League because he's a DH for the rest of his life. But the next guy here, one of my favorite outfielders. I really like him. I think he's got still a lot of potential. Dexter Fowler. Where did Dexter Fowler move to this offseason?
Yeah, he was with I remember him. He was most recently with the Cubs, I believe.
Correct.
See, I'm getting all the old teams. I just can't get the new teams.
That's the whole point of the show. We're educating the fans and at the same time.
Dexter Fowler. I'm going to say he went to. Oh my gosh, I don't want to say this team name again, but Cardinals.
He went to the Cardinals. So Andy got one. So eventually, if you say the Cardinals enough, I'm sure you'll get it. So it's a good lesson for you kids out there.
That's right.
The next one here, Mandy, a shortstop that you talked about actually at the beginning of last season. Not quite sure where he fits in with this team. I don't know if he plays shortstop with them, but Marcus Semien, formerly of the
Angels,
Oakland A's.
Oh my gosh, I'm thinking of somebody else. My bad.
You're thinking of Alderton Simmons, I believe.
Yeah. He is going to try to fit in with the, I won't say Cardinals.
But you want to.
I want to really bad.
Yeah.
Cubs.
Cubs again. Look at that. I think Mandy knows about 3 teams in the MLB. But so Marcus Semien will be playing somewhere in the infield, I'm assuming, with the Blue Jays now. So.
Oh yeah! Wow.
Made a move with the Blue Jays, sitting behind Bo Bichette, I'm assuming, because that's the future there. But yeah, Marcus Semien to the Blue Jays. That's possibly. So, but yeah, maybe.
Okay,
so you got Jackie Bradley Jr. leaving the Red Sox to the Brewers, Benintendi, Red Sox to the Royals, Chris Davis and Elvis Andrews now playing for the Rangers, Dexter Fowler, now a Cardinal. Mandy got that one.
Hey.
And Marcus Semien to the Jays with those youngsters there, maybe going to be a nice calming captain presence or something like that. 1 out of 5, Mandy. It's not 0, but it's not great.
But it's not 0.
But you learned something today, didn't you?
Very much so. Very much so. Here we go. My questions, again, softball questions for my little brother here. Real easy.
Not very good at softball, so.
Yeah, facts. Been there.
Yeah.
Here we go. Give me, again, don't take forever, dude. It should be pretty fast. I'm not going to put a clock on you, but, be fast. Give me the 5 newest teams in the Major League Baseball. The 5 newest teams.
Okay. I'll go with the Colorado Rockies. I know they're not super old.
Rockies.
The Nationals.
It's
kind of hard. I don't know. We'll say the Marlins. We'll go with the Angels. And we'll go with the Texas Rangers.
Well, the Angels, that's way wrong because they used to be called the California Angels. But hey, good try. Oh. But sir, you got 3 out of 5.
Hey, look at that.
You did get the Rockies and the Marlins. Yeah. You see Marlins, right?
Yeah, I did.
Yes. So you got the Rockies and Marlins. Great. And then you have the Devil Rays.
Ah, yes.
Devil Rays and the Diamondbacks.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I was trying to just think of like teams who haven't won the World Series or not.
Well, the Marlins won the World Series.
Marlins, I know they have, yeah, but I know that they're a newer team.
Yeah. So the Devil Rays, the Diamondbacks, and yes, the Nationals.
Yeah, I know that because they were the Expos before.
They were the Expos before. Because see, I don't want to say the 5 newest franchises because technically, yeah.
Technically, that wouldn't be right, but I guess
I said the 5 newest teams.
There we go. Look you're learning stuff on the Next Man Up show. Also, while getting your trivia in, so you can stun on your friends later on for sure. Mandy, typically this is the takeaway section, but today it's gonna be a little bit different. Okay, today it's Mandy, Chooch. What did you see this week that you enjoyed in sports world that maybe not everybody saw? For me, this one's easy. Okay, I have been enjoying and loving these World Cup qualifying games. Right, you got the CONCACAF is doing their thing. You also got Europe is doing the thing over there. There's one team in particular that I've been watching, and it's because I grew up near Glendale. I'm not gonna lie. I have been watching the Armenian national team put in some work in the qualifiers. They won. They actually haven't lost in their group yet. So they beat North Macedonia, who actually beat Germany today. So that's huge. Huge win. Germany missed a goal late in that game. North Macedonia didn't. So they're Germany has one loss in that group.
Give me the most famous person from Macedonia.
Like in history or
in general?
I don't know. Tell me.
Alexander the Great, baby.
Oh, well, I wasn't sure if you meant history or not, but yeah. So North Macedonia, so they won today, beat Germany, giving Armenia a chance to really qualify for this World Cup. All they would really have to do is win or tie Germany. I mean, that's a huge task, but Macedonia beat Germany. Armenia has a chance to do that. They beat Romania today 3-2. They scored 2 goals in extra time. That's what I watched today. Wow. Romania got a red card in the 80th minute. But even if Armenia doesn't win this game, they're still undefeated in that group, and I think they still make it to the World Cup because of that win over Romania today, who was the second best team in that qualifying group. So I think if they get either a tie or even I think a 1-point loss would get them into the World Cup with Germany. So we'll definitely have to see. Armenia's got a chance to beat Germany. That's what I watched this week that all of you, I'm sure, didn't watch. So keep an eye on those World Cup qualifying games. They've been great. Even I mean, most of those teams have been really good games. Spain tied. Norway lost to Turkey, which was an awesome game. They beat them 3-0. There's been some awesome games in the qualifier. Make sure you're checking out your international soccer to get geared up for the World Cup.
Love it. What I'm going to do is I'm not going to talk in particular about a certain game or anything. The best thing I saw in sports are 2 clips. One clip,
Bradley Beal.
One clip went viral, and one clip of a coach of mine sent to me so I could watch it. It was amazing. But yes, Bradley Beal speaking the truth to his team, to his Bradley Beal Elite AAU team. It's funny because I felt myself talking because he says the same things I do. Obviously, he's in the NBA. I'm nowhere near the NBA. But it's true that people are after you. People are going to want what you want, right? Like he put it to his team. Y'all think that y'all can make it to the NBA? I'm in the NBA. None of y'all can guard me. None of you will take my job. And that's what he wants to install in these guys, that you need to install this idea that you need to work your hardest. You need to do this because people are going to go after you. People want what you want. I love it. The second thing I want to talk about was my boy Mick Cronin, head coach of UCLA. Last year when he was fired at his first year at UCLA, his team was struggling. UCLA was bad last year. They were really bad. They ended the year before COVID like one of the best hot teams in the NCAA. But while they were struggling, people were going after his head. And he had a press conference, and it was amazing. And he said that he needs to change the culture at UCLA where it's not about looking good and losing, but it's about doing the hard things and winning. He said, and this is the quote I want to say. This is amazing. This is my new favorite quote. Winners know how to win. Losers know how to lose. Simple, right? Simple. Winners know how to win. Losers know how to lose. Simple quote. But again, if you're a winner, you know what it takes to win. If you're a constant loser, obviously, you know what it takes to lose. So I mean, it's a simple quote that I love.
Hey, that's the like giving excuses. That's the not showing up to practice. That's all those things that make you lose.
How many points did I score? You're the guy that goes to the scorebook and check. Oh yeah, I had 16 points. Motherfucker, you lost by 30 though. I don't care. I got 16 points.
That's definitely the divide between winners and losers.
And
I love
that's
that
what
quote.
he changed at UCLA. He changed that culture at UCLA for sure.
Oh, yeah. Not only are these guys getting opportunities to play at the next level, but they're winning games at the same time and creating even more opportunities. You know, the more you win, the more people get to see you. So it's definitely one of those things. Big shout out to UCLA basketball. Shout out to Bradley Beal. Shout out to Armenia soccer.
Love it. That's cool.
That's what it's all about right there. Hey, I got love for my Armenian brothers. I got a lot of Armenian homies. So definitely something to look out for. And look out for us. We're there. We're on social media. We're on your podcast outlets. We're everywhere.
Anywhere.
We're everywhere. We're everywhere. Literally everywhere. So make sure you follow Soup. You follow Next Man Up on everything. We also got one quick announcement before I end the show. McPan90 and I on Twitch, we will be hosting tournaments monthly because we got so much love and so much traction on those tournaments. You guys love them. We got a COD tournament coming up, 4v4s, not Warzone necessarily, just some verses. McPan 90 and I will be in each lobby, COD casting each single one, meaning we'll do the play-by-play announcing type stuff in each one, give out MVP at the end of the tournament, stuff like that. So make sure you're tuned in, make sure you get your squad ready for that. Cathedral guys, welcome. You know, you guys got that one dub. I don't know if it happens again. We're going to have to see. So make sure you're tuned in, make sure you're ready for all of that stuff. And yeah, follow us. Make sure you're loving the show. Shoot us those reviews. Let us know. Give us some feedback. Comment. If you want to see certain content, DM me. Comment what you want to see, what you want to hear. And let's talk about it. We'll get it going on the show. So
do it.
I hope you guys have a great rest of your week and enjoy the week that sports has coming. Go UCLA.
Y'all day, baby.